It's that time of the year again. We, as casual fans, as UFC fans, as Alex Pereira fans, used to wait for Alex Pereira fight weeks. And it's finally here. UFC 320 is finally here, and Alex Pereira is going to be facing Magomed Ankalaev for a rematch to regain his light heavyweight championship. And while the previous year it was so exciting watching a Pereira fight week because you know what's going to happen. He's going to go out there, do his thing with the low kicks, do his thing with the left hook, and finally get a knockout victory. That's what he did in 3 fights in 2024. Impressive, very, very impressive. But this fight week, it's kind of difficult, kind of different as well. And to be honest, I'm actually scared for Pereira to go into this fight week, right? I'm not scared as in that he's going to get dominated, he's going to get knocked out, but scared that he might not be able to get the victory over Magomed Ankalaev. And that's going to suck because Pereira then will have back-to-back losses on his resume. And though I also did a video after UFC the fight that Pereira lost against Ankalaev, I said that he had to move to heavyweight. He's still in light heavyweight, and even if Pereira wins, it's going to be like who is he going to face? He's going to be facing Yuri Prohaska or Khalil Roundtree Jr. and it's kind of just kind of in a limbo, the light heavyweight division for Alex Pereira because he's already defeated both of them. So heavyweight is the most sensible move. But let's talk about the fight that is happening this week, right? And what does Pereira have to do to win against Magomed Ankalaev? What he did not do in the first fight. And that is, the simple answer is that he just has to pull the trigger. He just has to go at it against Ankalaev as he went against all his opponents at light heavyweight. But I would rather, dive deeper into what Pereira needs to do. And I think, there is an answer, there is a solve for at least Alex Pereira to get the victory over Magomed Ankalaev by probably knockout. Because I don't think he will get the decision victory over Ankalaev. Ankalaev's just too sound defensively, just, pressurizes people and he knows how to get decision victories, whereas Pereira doesn't. Pereira has only 2 decision victories in the UFC, and one of them was a split decision victory. So he clearly doesn't know how to get decision victories. Magomed Ankalaev, on the other hand, does. But there's one weapon which Pereira has used against opponents, and is a very, very effective weapon, which he even used against Magomed Ankalaev in the first fight in the 5th round, and that is his jab. His jab is so underrated. It's always his left hook that we, as casual fans, as all the fans, see, but it's his jab that got him victories over Khalil Roundtree Jr., over Jan Blachowicz, over many other fighters as well. But these two at the top of my mind because against Khalil, he was having trouble with his pace. And yes, Khalil did drop off in the 3rd and the 4th round. He was gassed out, he wasn't as quick, he was even getting hurt by Alex Pereira. But it was the jab that Alex got going in the 3rd round that gave Khalil Roundtree Jr. so much trouble. Whenever he was coming in, Alex would time his jab perfectly and it would land every time that Khalil wanted to make an entry. And that was a weapon that was highlighted by Joe Rogan, by Daniel Cormier, that he had to adjust a few things in that fight, in the Khalil Roundtree Jr. fight, and he did so beautifully. And in the 4th round, it was the momentum shift that, Alex just rode on and, had that brutal knockout against Khalil Roundtree Jr. The same against Jan Blachowicz. He was able to weaponize his jab in the 2nd round and the 3rd round. The first round was, of course, on the ground. Jan took him down, kept him there for the majority of the round. Even in the 3rd round, Jan did take him down towards the end of the fight, But till then, I think Pereira had done enough to win over Jan, because even when Jan took him down, he wasn't doing any damage. And if if you score that fight only on the basis of damage, Pereira did a lot more damage than Jan Blachowicz. And it was his jab that was doing the damage. It was, of course, his low kicks as well, but he landed a record number of low kicks on Magomed Ankalaev. And even though Magomed Ankalaev was limping after the fight ended, limped towards the dressing room, it did not hamper his movement. It did not slow him down. He was pressurizing Alex from the get-go till the end of the 25 minutes. He held him up against the cage. He was the fresher fighter at the end of the fight as well. So he's not going to gas out, and clearly, even if he's hurt, he's not going to stop pressurizing Alex. He did not do that in the first fight. So the low kick, the weapon that Alex Pereira is so sneaky with, so good at, is ineffective against Magomed Ankalaev in the first fight at least. Maybe, he puts more force behind his kicks. He doubles up on them. He landed some 40-45 kicks. He maybe lands 90 kicks. And then we have a different story. But, that's realistically not going to happen. He's not going to land 90 kicks. Let's be honest. But there's one thing that tackles Magomed Ankalaev's boxing, and he looked the better boxer against Alex Pereira. And there were moments, if you see the fight again, when I saw the fight again, I thought the third round was much closer and the fifth round was much closer. The third round was much closer towards Alex Pereira, and the fifth round was much closer towards Magomed Ankalaev. So in short, it was a fair decision that Ankalaev won 3 out of 2 rounds, or even 4 out of the 5 rounds. But still, when Alex was gaining momentum towards the end of the third round, you could sense that, Magomed Ankalaev did something to break that rhythm. He held him up against the cage in the fourth round, and he was clear in what he was doing in that fourth round. He did not want to stand with him. He wanted to clinch with him. He wanted to take him down. That is what his goal was in the fourth round. In the fifth round, even when Alex was slightly gaining momentum again, he clinched, he took him up against the cage and kept him there till the end of the fight. And that is what I think, won him even that fifth round and in one judge's scorecard. So Alex Pereira, it's an oversimplification, but Alex Pereira needs to, of course, be more active, pull the trigger, but he needs to use his underutilized weapon, that is a jab, going forward. Because even in the fifth round, he did get that high kick in, which troubled Ankalaev, but it was also a jab that landed so perfectly with Ankalaev that he could see some momentum shift. He could see that maybe I could lose this round, not get knocked out, but this round, if he keeps doing this, if he keeps, me at a distance, if he keeps countering me. And even in that fight, you could see that Alex was pressurizing Ankalaev in the fifth round, but he did not pull the trigger. He did not get his jab moving. He did not get anything moving, which he did against Khalil Roundtree, which he did against Jan Blachowicz, which he did against many other fighters that he has defeated. So he needs to do this. He needs to get more active with his jabs. I would say more active with his body kick as well. But that's a weapon that Pereira doesn't use that well, or I haven't seen him use that well. But it's his jab that he needs to activate to give Magomed Ankalaev some trouble and probably find a left hook.